I have the power of the Infinity Gems. No, I have the power of the Infinity Gems.
Actually, guys, we have the power. And for this video, at least, I have the power. What up, folks? This is a comparison video of the Marvel Legends, Marvel Studios, the first 10 years Thanos, that comes in the Thanos, the Infinity War 3-pack, and the SHF Thanos. I decided to do it this way. Just sitting here talking, because I already did full reviews of these guys. I don't want to sit in front of the, behind the desk there and review them all over it again. I want to have a discussion. I want to show you some finer points. If you want full reviews, please go ahead and check out my 2 videos. Link will be at the end here. But I figured this is the best way to go about this because you can see my reactions to these, and you know, I can have a little discussion about how I feel in general about stuff like this. So I've done this once before, and that was NECA versus SH Monster Arts. So this is kind of in the same ballpark, because Marvel Legends has definitely stepped it up with the digital face printing over the past year. You know, like, and you know, SHF has been employing that for quite a while. So how do they fare? And you know, like, what are the criteria? The criteria is everything, you know, from price to, you know, articulation to everything. So let's take a look at, you know, everything here. First off, this guy comes in a 3-pack, right? You get Doctor Strange and Iron Man here with him for $72, you know, on Target. That's pretty good. That's really good, actually. I think it's a great deal. You get all 3 figures. Now, the Marvel Studios stuff has been a little more pricey, but here you're getting 3 figures. One of them is a Build-A-Figure. Remember, this was the Build-A-Figure from the first Avengers Infinity War wave. It's just recolored, and you get an extra head with it. So this is, you get 2 actually, 2 different heads here. So you got, you know, the growling head, and you have, you know, the more stoic head. Now, I'd be remiss to say, if I mean, these 2 guys are accessories. You have to consider it. That's part of the price point here, is you're getting 3 figures. So Doctor Strange with the nice head sculpt, same body as the old Doctor Strange, and this, you know, light up Iron Man here. Like, these are accessories. So you gotta consider it that. Because for $72, you're getting 3 figures. They each have some accessories. You know, he's got the shield, the magical shield thing with an extra hand there. You know, he's got extra hands with his effects that I hate. So you are getting some value there for $72. This guy cost me $81, and I missed out on the initial pre-order by moments, I think. You know, like, it sold out really quick at the import sites, but I was able to secure a pre-order at BBTS, and I knew I wanted this guy, the SH Figuarts, like, almost from the beginning, because I want the Thanos, and the original version of this didn't cut it for me at all. Like, it didn't look good. I don't like that head, and I have it on sale on eBay now. So if you want it, you can have it along with a left leg. So I didn't want that. I didn't like how it looked. The skin was too purple. So the minute I saw this, you know, I was like, I am definitely getting this. I really want this Thanos. You know, like, good figure representation of this Thanos. But when they announced this set, I was like, man, that looks good too. So I pre-ordered this one as well, and then I ended up getting it at Target. because the BBTS pre-order was about the same price as this. So, is what it is. This guy comes with a bunch of hands here. He's got a few extra hands, including the finger snapping hand, which is when he's talking to, I believe, Tony Stark. He does this because I wish they gave us the finger snapping hand here, which, spoiler, is how the movie ends, pretty much. So, but you do get 2 extra Gauntlet hands, as well as 2 extra heads. So you have the same, stoic head, and the little smirky head that is on the original Build-A-Figure. So you are getting more accessories for Thanos in this set. But the other set has, 3 figures and some effects. Some accessories. So you gotta weigh it. You want the extra figures. And the thing is, Marvel Legends are starting to, for me personally, with the, movie figures and the TV figures, are starting to fill like a hole. Not a hole, yeah, like a hole. Like the spot that Figuarts would fill. Like, and it's, as well as Black Series, I'd much rather pay less and get almost the same as I get it with Figuarts, But you do pay for a lot of other stuff with Figuarts, it's the feel is different. Like the plastic feel is like, this is heavier. Don't get me wrong, and it's a bigger figure, obviously. But this feels so good in hand, like it feels like quality. And this feels like a figure, there's no other way to put it. They're both figures, but there's the difference in plastic quality really hurts this, not only because this exists. Like if you feel this, like, wow, this feels so good. Even though this is fully textured, it has really a lot of nice detail. There's something to be said about this. Feel-wise, this just feels awesome, I can't, it's an intangible almost, it's just so good, and it just feels like so much more quality. But like I'm saying, this dude has a lot of detail, and it's impressive, the work that they put in to this Thanos. He's got a lot of nice design work in the armor, which is more accurate than what they did here. They made him very, very plain. And you know what? Figuarts tends to do that, as and they've done that more and more, as as far as I'm concerned, over the years. So there's that part of it. But it's this figure is almost immaculately clean. It is so nice looking. Everything just looks great, and it's a lighter looking figure. The paint is lighter. Now there's no detail in either one of their arms. They just, neither one of them gave them any shading, so no points for either one of them there. But the heads have a lot of work, and they both look really good. But for my money, I feel like the Figuarts nails it more. I just feel like his head is a little more elongated, and it just looks a little odd. Proportionally, there's scenes in the movie, and I just watched it again just to make sure I knew what I was talking about here. There's scenes in the movie where he feels this bulky when he walks a little bit, like big feet and stuff. But proportionally, as a figure, this Figuarts is just perfect. And a lot of the times in the movie, he does end up looking sleeker like this. There's no doubt about it. He's not too skinny, in my opinion. I think he's just proportionally built differently, and proportionally right, where this one just feels kind of like his head is a little too small for the width of his body. He's just too bulky. And I'm not saying that's not on model. It's just I feel like proportionally this one just looks better. I think it just works more. And there's things like this is more right here, I feel like, along here. But then the collar is definitely better here. Like, he has a higher collar in the movie for sure. It looks like this, with this part sticking out in the back. Also, I feel like this is too long from everything I've seen. It's hard to get good shots of his back, but from what I've seen, I feel like this is right. There's shots when he's walking where you don't see that at all underneath him, and here when you spread his legs, you do see that. So, is what it is. They both look very good. I don't really have any problems there. This has a little extra paint here, and it's a little messy in the back. Otherwise, I think they're pretty good. Their pants are all fine, He's got more wrinkly pants, he doesn't, so I don't mind it either way. You get some really nice line work in here, which looks more on model to me than this one does. This one doesn't have those. The boots both look very good. I really don't have a problem with that. I do like the glossiness here a little more than here. This is more dull, but you do get a little, I don't know. It's like you almost see shading a little bit in his armor, but it's not really. It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, as far as these two heads, if you want to look at these two heads, these are the same ones. Let's look at this. They both look good. Honestly, they both look very, very good. And I feel like they both work. I can't pick between these two at all. You do get an extra one here, and this is much better than the one that came with the original Build-A-Figure, if you want to count that. Now, looks-wise, probably one of the most important parts, I guess, is the Infinity Gauntlet itself. And they both have things I like. I do really like this really nice gold. But this is more accurate for sure. This is, I feel like, what it really looks like. This kind of coppery, leathery look. Both really have fantastic sculpt work in them. Neither one of them skimped there, but this has a bit of a wash, and that helps a lot. The thing I do like better here, though, is the Infinity Gems. They look really nice. The stones look awesome. It's like, if I could take these stones out and put these in, I would do so, because I think that works way better. And then you get a couple options with the hands, which is nice. You don't get any options with this guy as far as that goes. So there's that, but overall, I gotta give it to the Marvel Legends on that one, just because I like the full Gauntlet more than the stones. I think this one does look better overall. Though I do love how this part looks here. I think that looks super cool, and you don't have to get that at all on this one. It's just nice. They're both really nice, and I do really like the stones on this one. So, but overall, I gotta say, I like the colors here. It worked for me so much more. But this works really well for this figure, so I can't say that it's bad at all, because if you look at the figure, that color really matches this figure as well as this one with this one. So you got to take that into account, and we're talking about figures here and not really a movie, so there's that part of it. As far as articulation goes, I mean, it's I'm gonna just tell you, it's this one. It's USHF. They both have some cool things. This does have bicep swivel, but this has a butterfly joint. I like that more, honestly. Now, they both have diaphragm joints, which work a little bit differently. His works a little bit better, but I just like the way this guy moves a little more. He's more posable, and he's got the little foot thing there. So, they're not too far off as far as points of articulation, But this guy is way more posable and easier to pose and feels better when you pose. And this guy, unfortunately, super floppy legs, which unfortunately a lot of the big Build-A-Figures tend to have because of the plastic and the weight. So, you know, it just doesn't support sometimes. Yes, I know I could put some stuff in there, but I'm not talking about, you know, figures I customized or anything. I'm talking about the figures one-on-one. And why even talk about this? Why even bother to do this? I think it's mostly because I just, you know, at the very outset, I personally was comparing the two to figure out which one I wanted to get. So, because it was such a thing and it came right down to the wire and I almost canceled one of the two, and I ended up not, I figured I had to, like, do it just for myself to see if, you know, do they both stay in my collection? Do I just want one? You know, and plus this big thing, you know, with, like, you know, there's a ton of Marvel Legends fans that are like, who needs Figuarts? And then there's a ton of Figuarts fans that, like, scoff at Marvel Legends. So it's like, or Black Series. And you really, like, I can't do that anymore because they're giving you a lot for the money, you know, like, I mean, if this was a figure on its own, you know, a lot of times they put out the BAFs on their own, like, at regular price down the line. You know, like, that you can't beat that. We're talking a $20 figure. I'm not talking about what people sell them on the internet once they buy a wave. They're just trying to make the money. But Hasbro would sell this guy at $20 or $25 because it's a Marvel Studios one. You know, and the price, I gotta go with Marvel Legends on the price, obviously, and what you do get, because you do get 2 extra figures with this. But I feel like overall the look and everything, I have to go with this. I do like this a lot. Like, I mean, like, a lot. I really like this figure. Accuracy out the window, because, I mean, I do feel like a lot of the, you know, this nails a lot of the outfit and stuff more than this does, but I feel like this nails his look more and his overall, like, stature. But that's subjective, you know, like, everything is subjective, guys. You know, like, everything I say is subjective. Like, even, like, things that are, like, objective, you know, like, that I could only say, hey, look, this is, you know, this is messed up. Like, you can't argue with me there at all. It is. It's just, that's not an opinion. That's just, you know, loose legs. You know, but there's so much, especially in toy reviews, guys, there's so much that gets passed off as objective opinions. And I don't subscribe to that. I feel like every point is valid. Your reasoning for loving this more is going to be your reason, and I don't blame you whatsoever. And your reasoning for loving this more is going to be your reasoning, and I don't blame you one bit. If there's one thing you'll never find on my channel is me, like, saying you're wrong, unless it's something that, like, yeah, I think you're wrong. Like, you know, like I feel like, you know, but again, it's kind of objective. Like I said, that his head is too skinny, and that's a problem with, you know, the problem they've had with doing some of these redos when they put in these new heads is they don't account for how big the body is, and you can really see it. It just looks too skinny for his overall body, you know, whereas this looks obviously right, you know. So you know, it is what it is, but you may think it's right, and I'm not gonna, like, argue with you too much, you know. Like, I'll tell you my opinion, and that's it. And that's my opinion on these guys. I really like both of them. They're both gonna stay in my collection. I think they're really nice figures, and you know, but overall I feel like, you know, the money you're spending on this is well worth it. You're getting a quality figure, a quality feeling figure with a beautiful finish. Regardless of how much, like, shading is in this guy, he looks fantastic. And I can't really deny that. Whereas I do have some issues with this one, you know. So I do like the Gauntlet better on this one. I think it's overall a really good figure. I like a lot of the wash on his, and like actually mostly the wash is on here. But I do like the design work on here. I like how this is, feels more accurate. I really like his belt, and I probably like his belt more than his because I think that it just looks better. It's deeper. But this one looks really good too. But there you go, guys. I think that's it. I mean, it's just a comparison, looking at them, telling you, my opinions on both of them. And I like them both. So maybe you watch this for no reason, and my apologies for that. There's no definitive answer here. And I think I wanted to do this video like this, which is in stark contrast to like what I originally did, because that was a real review. I was reviewing the two figures together. This is better, I think, for this because we get to talk about it and you get to see my reactions to this stuff. I think it's important. I always say that. It's very important to get to know me and my reactions to stuff. But, you get some really good stuff here. This is a really good value. This is harder to find. I don't know if it's going to be worth paying more for. How's that? This guy, totally worth it. I really like him. I really like Doctor Strange and Iron Man. I gave this a really good review. Go out and get this figure, this set, and you're going to be really happy with it. You may not get really wobbly legs. And if you do, you could just put some, floor polish in there and it should clear it up. And there you go. But if you can still get this guy, I think, U.S. sellers were selling them anywhere from 80 to like $95. And you like Figuarts and you don't mind spending the money, definitely get this. This is awesome looking. This is gonna be on my tops of the year. I like this that much. I really, really do. This might too, but it might. I don't know if I'm gonna do it as a whole set or not. I do like the whole set. It's cool, and maybe as a whole I might. This guy for sure. I really love him. So if you value that, that's part of my opinion. But definitely go out and get this because it's well worth it. Hasbro did a fine, fantastic job. I didn't know which F word I was getting out of there just now with this. And you can totally feel good about having a really awesome Thanos in your collection and getting, a couple extra figures. But if you could get this and you like it and I think maybe one of the major things will be like what you think of the Infinity Gauntlet. Then definitely get this. I highly recommend this. It's a super cool figure. And that's it, guys. That is my review. No, that is my comparison of the Hasbro Marvel Studios the first 10 years Thanos and the SHF Thanos. So please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Click the bell too because that helps me a lot and it lets you know when all my videos are up. And let me know your opinions down below. Till next time, peace out, peeps.